everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Zamora 2-Player Podcast. I am Garrett Zamora, your player one, and I'm joined once again by my brother Matt. Matt and I join you as enlightened individuals. We both have finished Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and god damn it, do we want to talk about it.
Man,
you just finished like 2 days ago or something. So yeah, Matt texted me the second when you rolled credits. I think I was in bed by the time you texted me, so I like woke up to that message basically.
For me, Sunday night. So I guess 2 nights ago.
So yeah, we're ready to dive in. Both of us were sort of like taking some brief notes while we were playing, and then I've had like 2.5, 3 weeks to like just stew on everything and think it like organize my thoughts a bit. So it might be a little scatterbrained because we kind of threw this. We were not planning necessarily on recording tonight, but it kind of worked out that we both had time. Because we know first of all, this will be a multi-part episode because we have a lot to say. So we wanted to make sure we had a night where we could carve out a good amount of time so that we can just talk about it as much as we want. And then I'll chop it up into a few parts. And then, we'll get that out.
I feel like if we didn't say it on the pod, it was certainly a text before February 29th or whatever, but it was literally like, see you on the other side.
I think you're right.
And just like the pre-Rebirth, we'd both played the demo. We had kind of we had a breakdown of that. And then it was just like, okay, I'm gonna dive in and I'll let you know when I'm done. And you texted me that you rolled credits. I barely finished the demo component. I feel like
I mean, you had a few days away with work and I took a week off. So I did my thing where I tried to go to bed. I came out on the Thursday, I think. So I tried to go to bed at like 7 or 8 o'clock Wednesday night. And that's what I did for Remake. And then I ended up just waking up that morning, that night at like 2:30 in the morning. I was like, okay. But
here we go.
I woke up at like 11:50 and I was like, well, I'm not going to sleep now. I got up and just had something quick to eat. And then literally sat at the screen, watched the timer go down. And I was like, play as soon as it was ready.
Man.
So yeah.
And I can't remember. Did you played the demo again?
I did. I went through the demo portion again. Just for I liked the sort of consistency of just going through that, as part of the storytelling or whatever. And then I think I played till like 5 in the morning, and I was like in the grasslands, and I was having fun, but like my body was like, what are you doing? And so I'm gonna go to sleep. And I just went and I think I slept for like 4 or 5 hours and got up before noon and was like, okay, let's keep going. And I did my usual like insane, 16, 17 hour sessions every day. And I loved it. That was like the best vacation I've ever had.
Oh man. And cause I get the physical copy. So a few days delayed for that. And we had some guests that weekend, so
that's what it was. Yeah.
And so I didn't play that weekend. And then I remember like having this very real moment of like, do I start playing this? Because like once I start, it's game over. Is there anything in life that I need to do first? Is there a work project I'm gonna nope, here we go. As soon as I start, and that's exactly what happened. It was just like, yep, this is all I want to do.
I laughed. I laughed really hard. I was watching because I've been watching Maximilian Dude's playthrough, and it wasn't even on one of those. It was he was doing some video about Tekken, and he said something about along the lines because there's like big Tekken update coming, like Eddie just getting added like this week or something.
There was a big download last night.
It's for the patch with Eddie in it, basically.
Awesome.
And he was just talking about that. He's like, man, I want to play more Tekken, but like Final Fantasy 7 fucked up my life. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good way of describing it. And he's like, in the best way possible. But that quote made me laugh.
It's funny, I had this written down because I was like playing, it was last night, and it's like Tekken, like huge update. And I remember Eddie was like in like the launch trailer, there was like a little tease
He's
of
already
Eddie.
announced, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was just like, pops up on your PlayStation 5 interface, whatever. And then I was just like, not today, Tekken. Like, I know, like, I can't, like, I know what that is. And because I love playing as Eddie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Tekken, normally you're the number one golden child here, but it's like, no, I can't move out of the way. I'm still on Final Fantasy 7.
I don't
Whereas like a month ago, it was just like, Tekken's the best game ever.
Yeah.
I love this. Now it's like, out of the way. I thought
The,
Final Fantasy 7 is more
there's
important.
this GIF from I have butterscotch pudding on my shirt. Whoops. There's this GIF or whatever from an episode of Always Sunny where Dennis is looking at like some attractive girl at the beach or whatever, and this like other woman just kind of sits up in front, and he's just like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
that with Tekken. It's like, update ready, lie back down.
Yeah. The other GIF I was thinking of is like Simpsons when they go to the petting zoo and the three sheep, and so the originally cute sheep is like he tries to sidle it out of the way.
Yeah, those are two very apt descriptions of how that would have played out.
And so it was just like, you can wait, Tekken, and like by the time I'm ready for you, there'll be also the Tifa will be in Tekken by that point.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have Tifa confirmed as the next character,
and that's the only way I will leave Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Tekken figured it out. They knew that we'd just be
that's why they're holding off on that character reveal, because they need to save that to pull people back from playing Final Fantasy 7.
And it's like, it wouldn't work now. People are still in hard mode to do and all these things. But right when there's this tiniest kink in the armor, then Tifa and Tekken 8. Let's see you later.
Perfect marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to talk first about like we're gonna revisit those like prediction kind of wish list stuff that we did, and just see how much we guessed right or guessed wrong or whatever. Then we'll talk a little bit just like highlights of going through the game, like sort of in order, because a lot of my notes I sort of took as I was playing, so we can jump around a bit though, I don't really care. But just stuff that and like I will forget things because the game is fucking huge. But just like some highlights that I thought of as I was playing through. And then we'll get into the ending, the theories of what it means and all that stuff. So, excuse me, the ending portion will be obviously full spoiler warning. We're probably going to talk spoilers throughout it anyway, so I would just, for anyone listening, if you haven't finished Rebirth yet and you plan on it, just bear in mind, like, we're not limiting ourselves to like non-spoiler talk first and then spoiler. Like, we're going to be jumping around, so just consider the whole...
Consider this, you've been warned.
Yeah, exactly, for the whole session. So, just keep that in mind. And then when you finish the game, come back and listen to our thoughts. Okay, so I did my best because I didn't have your predictions written out, so I rewatched our portion of that video we did last time, and I did my best to sort of transcribe them. I think I did that after, so I think a lot of mine are in the front, but we'll go through them. Doesn't matter what order. Okay, so first one I have was the over under on how many times we're gonna cry. I mean, we both said over because the number was 7 because it's thematic. I think I was over 7 by the time I finished the Grasslands or something. I don't know what the number was, but it was way more than 7.
And I think it's like, what do we call cry? If it means a tear very obviously left your eyeball and went down your cheek, because if it's that, it was 50 easily. Or full on like ugly
I need a moment to um regain my composure sort of
Yeah,
thing.
I'd say that was for me like closer on like there were probably 10 moments where it was like, what is wrong with you? Like you are completely losing it.
Yeah.
And
And we'll definitely like talk about some of those moments when we're going through the general impressions and everything, because I did try to make note of most of the times that I ended up crying. But yeah, 7 was like thematically appropriate, but way under than like so like way undershooting it.
I knew we'd be over, but I thought we'd be
Like
you know,
close.
yeah, I thought it would be 10 times where like getting misty-eyed doesn't count. If it gets the tear gets big enough that it falls, that
Yeah.
counts. I thought I'd get 10 of those. I had like 50 of those and 10 full on fuck this game. I hate you so much because I love every minute of this. Yeah.
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 So yeah, we I mean we both said over, so we knew it was gonna be more.
Yeah.
Red 13 in a sailor suit. So we both said
Called it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah.
yeah, we both
Not
said yes. We didn't get that, but like they absolutely like like one upped that. It's like
yeah.
that wouldn't have been good enough, so they wanted to go one step further. When instead of doing his weird fucking wiggly, he does like
Yeah.
full on Michael Jackson like dance off.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess we 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 said yeah, red in the sailor suit, but it was yeah, it was red in a human outfit. So like maybe give us
Pretending to be a human and dancing.
yeah. And so give us maybe like a quarter point for guessing in human clothing because he wasn't in a sailor suit and he wasn't struggling.
Yeah.
Like a little bit, but yeah.
There was a point when he was like trying to cross his legs and
Yeah.
he like couldn't do it. Obviously, like it was very deliberately like him pulling his leg up to like, God, it's so fucking funny.
Oh, it was so good. And that was a moment for me of just like, what is happening? Like just not literally, but just like like my reaction was, oh okay, I see what's happened. Square Enix is drunk with power. It's like they can do whatever the hell they want and we'll lap it up because it's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good payoff. I was really happy about that one. That was
Yeah.
one that I was sad that I was like way ahead of everyone else I know playing it, because like
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that so bad with someone when it happened. It was too fucking hilarious.
I'd say we get partial points for predicting an homage to that
Yeah,
concept.
like
Sure.
we said, oh yeah, Red 13 will be in a sail suit, and Square Enix said, oh yeah, hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Just wait. Yeah.
um.
Good call.
Okay, Costa del Sol. Will we be able to pick swimsuits? We both said yes, and
Yeah.
we're pretty much bang on. That exactly
Yeah.
happened, and you actually had a choice between multiple. We didn't get Red 13 in a floaty arm device.
Sorry. Yeah,
But that's
true.
fine. That was like bonus points. But yeah, we both said yes to that one.
I didn't expect being able to do that for Yuffie and Barrett. Like that's my new favorite costume for Barrett. Period.
And he loves it.
Oh yeah,
He
exactly.
loves himself in that sailor suit. It's so good.
He is not
No.
begrudgingly wearing it at all. He is very happy and knows he looks great in it.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
great.
big like anchor or hook or something.
Also, in I don't know if you've gotten to this point in hard mode yet. There are more of those changing stations throughout the world, and you can just be in those outfits for the whole game if you want, cutscenes and all.
Oh, perfect. I will definitely be doing that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty cool.
Anyway, yeah, I'm very happy with that. So good prediction there.
Yep, for both of us, we nailed that one.
Yeah.
Will Sid? One of it was will Sid do a dragoon jump? And I was hoping, but we didn't get that.
No,
we didn't get it.
We
Go ahead.
I guess like, did we get any real like Sid isms? I guess like he wasn't maybe foul mouthed or at least southern kind of drawl. Like I guess
they definitely like So here's the thing. I was watching one of these like developer interviews that they've done post launch, and
Hmm.
it's like because one of the guys who's like the one of the directors like played FF7 as like a fan,
Mm.
like as
Yeah.
just a player, and he said like it was really hard. I forget how he worded it, but it's like in my head, Sid was this really old, gruff
Mm.
foul, and it's like no, he's like 31.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's not old at all. He's like just like a young, guy, and so they kind of thought it was something like I feel like it would be easier to make him believably younger by giving him more of the like southern sort of
Yeah.
gentlemanly accent.
Yeah.
He does curse a couple times or whatever, and like maybe we'll peel back some layers to him in part
Hmm.
3, and maybe get a like maybe he'll have like an angry side or whatever that we'll see or something. But
Yeah.
it definitely is like sort of our fault, but like because when we're playing it as 10-year-olds, this guy's 32, this guy's fucking old, and it's like no,
Yeah.
no, he's not old at all. He's like a young handsome 30-year-old guy, like pilot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't get a ton of like Sid isms. So no Dragoon jump. We did get jump materia, which I
Yeah.
was like,
True.
okay, like that's a consolation prize for me.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, we didn't get to see Sid wield a spear or do a Dragoon jump yet.
True.
Yeah.
True. And I guess, yeah. Sid it's very much the Red 13 of remake in that like he's there and he does a couple of things. So I mean it's even less than that. We don't
Yeah,
fight
you
with
don't see
him
him
at
in
all.
battles or
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
and they I knew that they said that
yep.
him and Vincent weren't going to be playable, so I wasn't expecting. But I thought in a cutscene or something maybe. But
And I really liked what they both added to everything, even
yeah,
though, and I was just like, quite frankly, I was so overwhelmed by the sheer number of characters at all times. It's like I don't need any
yeah,
more.
that's how I
Yeah.
felt when they announced that like last in the summer. That like I initially I was like, oh man, like that's kind of sucks. I don't get to play them. But I was like, wait, we get like we've only played Yuffie for like a 3-hour story,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're integrating pun. We're integrating her into the rest of the party, plus
Yeah.
Red, plus Kate Sith,
Yeah.
and
Plus synergy
yeah,
skills.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I could barely handle all it was throwing at me as it was.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, that was the right choice for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you were correct on that one. You said no. I was trying to manifest it, and I said yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Fair.
wrong there. Will Vincent transform? We said yes, and
Yeah.
good God, that was fucking awesome.
Oh man, and not like human-sized monster. Nope. Like gigantic
Yeah,
beast.
I was not. I don't know why I wasn't expecting that because it would make sense. But yeah, and it was like a fucking boss fight. It was
Yeah.
so sick.
Yeah.
The music that plays during his fight is like there's that one track from FF7 OG that's like, and it plays when you meet him in this
Yeah.
in Rebirth. It's like a guitar solo kind of really
Yep.
somber. It was like that. It was that melody in his boss fight, but it was like this epic choir and like,
Oh,
good
it was,
God, that was so cool.
oh man. I should have had a counter for how many times I get goosebumps just talking about this with you now, because
Sure,
this is
yeah.
just remembering all this. Because yeah, that very super somber like Spanish guitar
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
of thing.
I forget the name
Oh,
of the track, but yeah, it's
I
the one
remember.
you're hearing the melody when you first encounter him, and then it
Yeah,
turns into that boss
in
fight.
like the coffin and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But yeah, I remember being like, oh man, like sweet Vincent transformation, and like your battle menu comes up like, oh, okay, yeah, here we
yeah.
go.
And it did like the
Uh,
very classic like monster movie shot where like I'm pretty sure you saw like his shadow on the wall as he's
mm,
transforming.
mm,
Like it
mhm,
just
mhm.
like cut away and you could just see the
Silhouette.
shadow. Yeah, like the
Yeah,
silhouette. Oh
yeah,
god damn, I was so happy. That was one of the moments where I screamed at my TV.
oh,
Just like Jesus Christ. Like
my
especially when the music when I noticed the sorry, I just cut you off.
no, it's fine.
When I noticed what the music was, and it was like a crazy epic version of his theme, I think
Yeah.
that's when I like audibly shouted something.
Oh man.
Because it was just so fucking cool.
so well done. My buddy Robbie is a huge Vincent fan,
Okay.
and so he's disappointed that you don't get to control him because he knows that. But then
Yeah.
I was like, dude, no worries, Vincent is badass.
Yeah. And
Especially
just like,
because
oh, you go
uh,
first. You go first.
like the Turks are so cool in this game. I mean, they were cool in OG, but I mean, like, just they're just
With the voicing and yeah, you can
oh
see a lot more like to them in this, remake
attitude,
series.
and whatnot. And just like he has that like too cool for school Turk kind
Shut
of
up.
energy kind of thing. And like he's like sitting, like brooding, like legs crossed, like just like
Yeah.
he's like, God damn, Vincent's damn cool. And he knows it. But
And
anyway.
just like a couple like goofy moments that the game can just do, and it's like it's so earned. Like it doesn't feel out of place when the game does weird, silly things. And when
Yeah.
it's just like security card or whatever, and it's like not work. Like it's just stupid shit like that. It's so fucking good, man. Like
I like um audibly like to the TV was just like fuck off. Like you're just like here, ID please. And I was like, what the fuck's happening?
yeah, it's so
Like
funny.
this is the serious moment here. I was crying 10 seconds ago. Anyway,
uh,
yeah.
so
It
yeah,
the symbol on the coffin, like just done so well. Like anyway, it just
incredible.
everything is so polished.
Yeah.
Um
So
uh
so yeah,
okay,
we'll come back to Vincent because I do have I think a couple notes about when we get there in the game. But
awesome.
the prediction of will he transform, we both said yes, and we got exactly what we wanted and more.
A hundo P for sure.
um okay, will Cloud get a kiss on the cheek during the date? We both said yes. And I think I can't I don't have the other note. I think I said we decided like who would do it or whatever.
Right.
But either way, he got have you watched all the dates yet actually?
No, so I've only done Tifa. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, I've seen the natural
Sure.
one. So yeah, if there are other ones yet, you could mention them. So
Okay, so
yeah,
he doesn't get a kiss from Aerith, but their date is like super cute and
yeah,
it's like I fucking cried at that point.
yeah.
Um he does get a kiss on the cheek from Yuffie, and it's
Okay.
like it's not. It's just so like Yuffie is so endearing in
I
that
love
date scene.
Yuffie. Yeah, yeah.
And you find out that like because she talks about meeting Zach, but she doesn't mention him because she doesn't. I don't know if she knows his name necessarily because she met him in Crisis Core briefly.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and she just
but she's
mentions that it was like a soldier that and she's
mm,
like all she was so mad that he was like making fun of her by pretending that her moves were hurting him and stuff, and
yeah,
she was like talking about how much she like oh I just wanted to get stronger so I could beat the crap out of him or whatever, and it's like and then she talks about like how she slowly started to realize as she was training like oh I think I loved him or like I think I liked him a lot or whatever, and then Cloud starts to like play along a little bit with her too, and anyway so when you're going through chapter select, you can actually pick who you go on the
yes,
dates with. So
yeah.
it's worth going through to see Aerith and Yuffie's for sure.
Oh,
Um,
I plan to see all of them.
yeah,
So yeah, no
yeah.
problem.
And so he
I've
does get a kiss on the cheek, but it's from Yuffie, so we were kind of both wrong on that. But I'd say you still get a point because he gets more than a kiss on the cheek from Tifa.
yeah,
And I think you said Tifa would do it. Yeah, that's what it was. You said Tifa would, and I said she wouldn't because she'd be like too afraid of like
yeah,
whatever. So yeah,
yeah.
so you definitely would get the points on that one for
Okay.
sure.
No,
Yeah.
sounds good. And I'm trying to think, like, he doesn't get a kiss on the cheek at some other point. I can't remember,
I don't
but
think so.
no.
Not that I
Anyway,
could remember anyway. Yeah, it was definitely the date part for sure.
but yeah, so I've only seen the Tifa one, but yeah, I've already set it to Aerith for when I get to both dates. Just I'll see that one next, and
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like many screenshots from their date that are now my background on my computer.
Oh yeah, no, all the ones I sent you are all backgrounds on mine as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Will Hojo be sipping drinks on the beach? I said no, and I don't. I rewatched and I had a reason for why I said no. I just thought like it would be
So
like
out of care, like
out of
yeah,
place. Because I said he was like way more sinister feeling in this game, so I did. But they
yeah,
fucking did it, and I
yeah,
loved it. So you said yes, so you would have won that one for sure.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I
just so weird that those girls were like all over him. Like, what is happening? Which was in OG, like that happened in the original where he had
oh
like
yeah,
a bunch of girls fanning him or whatever. It was like,
yeah, oh yeah, no,
so
just like
weird.
gold digger, like 100, like just a bunch of them. And I felt I was like, ah, god damn it, Matt, like come on. I all this like allusion to like, oh, I have this Shinra boss that and like it's and coming in and I was just like, oh, okay, just some. It's like, oh no, it was Hojo as like like the skill
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like there's a guy like, oh, everyone was talking about, oh, my Shinra boss is on the way, oh god, I gotta go help him, and then it
Yes.
was Hojo and I was like, ah, come on, I should have expected that. I'm the one who predicted Hojo would be here, like god damn it. I remember being really mad at myself that for not cluing until Hojo was literally on the beach.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, you guessed right on that one. Um. Oh, will Cloud attack or threaten Aerith after the Temple of the Ancients? We both said yes, but we didn't really know how it was going to play out.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, he kind of like he didn't like attack her, but he's like chasing her when you're like on that
Oh
weird like.
yeah.
So it's
And
like
he's being
I'm
super creepy.
yeah, I'm calling
Yeah.
it a yes because he definitely was like after her and like not he would have hurt her if he like got his hands on her or something. So
Yeah. And
um
I don't really count the like when he clearly trying to stop
no.
from
Yeah,
slicing
no.
at her. Yeah, yeah. He
And
was
because
trying not to there.
and the part I was referencing when I made that question was like when you get the black materia
Yeah.
and or like after right after Temple Ancients before you go to the
Yeah.
Forgotten Capital or whatever.
And yeah, and
Um
he's just like, Aerith, like I won't hurt you, like
yeah,
things like
he's
that.
so creepy.
And it's like, oh, that sounds super normal and
Even the
genuine.
way he was
Yeah.
running was like kind of creepy.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I'm considering that a yes because the spirit of what we were
yeah.
expecting is definitely what happened.
And I mean,
Um,
even if someone doesn't give us that point, it's just like he's also a pretty huge asshole to her for like that
I
whole like hour.
yeah, I have a note about that when we get
Uh,
there. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was I said in my like notes for that, I said like emotionally beating her up during the
yeah,
trial. So yeah, well, we're counting that one.
I feel like he says something. He's just like, "Are we done yet? Like,
Yeah,
let's move
it was
on." Or
literally after her trial, and she's like crying. And
yeah,
he either said, "Are you done?" or "Are you done talking?" Or
yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah,
something like that. And I think I cried when he said
yeah.
that because
I was,
like it's so brutal.
yeah, I was just like, Jesus Christ, man! Like, come on. Did they
Awful.
when they put like Genova cells and like whatever, like did they remove your empathy?
Yeah.
Like, geez, what the hell's wrong with you?
So brutal. Cloud's fucking breakdown in this game, like he's just losing it, man.
Oh man. Anyway,
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay. What was going to be the first boss battle, like classic
mm,
FF7 boss theme? We both
yeah,
were wrong.
yeah.
I said the Triceratops, which we didn't get.
Oh
And
yeah,
you said the Midgar Sormer or whatever.
yeah.
It was the Quetzalcoatl.
Yep.
If you do all the grasslands until it was that boss fight.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, it was well, I mean, who would have predicted that?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think the Midgard Stormer or whatever had like
It had to
a,
give a
a
version of
new
it in
boss
there
theme.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just the first one. If you did everything technically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, true.
So yeah, we were both wrong on that one.
That was a hard one though. That's hard to nail.
Yeah, that was really open ended. Um, no shady GP dealer in the gold saucer that I could find. I went around to all the random groups of people talking in case someone
Yeah,
like mentioned like buying GP from someone or something, and I didn't
yeah.
notice it, so I don't. Excuse me. So I don't think he's there unless he's really well hidden. So
The the GP exchange person in the hotel I loved. Like just the zombie one was funny, but then when it was like the yin yang guy, it'd just be like, oh, like like just so labored. But anyway, it
so yeah, we.
also
Oh, go ahead.
killed me the all of the puns in the
Sure.
every single one. I'd be like, fuck off, like these aren't funny and they're so funny. They're like, oh, Quilcom, da 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 da. I'm like,
Yeah.
god damn it, shut the fuck up. This is like, stop. Also, what's your next one?
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
continue.
yeah.
So yeah, we both said yes on that one, and yeah, we didn't get that one. Oh, the big lore explanation moment. We were asking where would that be?
Yeah,
I said Bugenhagen, and I was pleasantly surprised to be wrong. He was
yeah,
like, "What the fuck are you kids talking about? You guys are crazy or whatever." At
yeah.
first, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I thought this is where we were gonna have to get the lore dump.
Yeah.
You said, or you
Okay,
said
but
Bugenhagen as well, but what you said he was gonna tell us, you were bang on in terms of what we got in the Temple of the
Temple.
Ancients.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I would give you like at least a half point for that, because like what we were going to learn about, you called that pretty much.
yeah,
We
yeah.
got a lot of what you were saying. So I was
And
thinking he was going to explain more about the timeline split, and
oh, really?
I thought
Okay.
I said he was going to tell us that stuff. And yeah, he I think I said one of us said he was going to tell us about weapons, and I think he did a little bit. He did mention, he did talk
Yeah,
about them
because
a
they
bit.
could, but yeah, they could hear.
Yeah,
Yeah, tiny sidebar. I at first was a little uneasy, but then kind of liked how Cosmo Canyon was like just a cult.
yeah.
And I was just kind of like,
There's a bunch
this,
of hippies.
yeah, just a hippie cult. And at first I was like, oh man, like no, it's supposed to be the mecca of planetology and the answers they've been looking for. It's like, now just a bunch of kooky, drugged up hippies who are like, oh yeah, this is the boy. It's like Tifa. I saw them. They're weapons. And he's like, nope, it's the planet. um, it's like, no, I was swallowed by one, and
Yeah,
but I like that it was kind of like very stubborn. Oh, there's a seminar going on. Let's join our prayer circle, and
sure, yeah.
and anyway, I like that it was kind of a little kooky, and then it was like, okay, let's keep hunting the bad
So,
guy here, because yeah,
continue on that sidebar for a sec. The thing I love about, and I think I heard Max talk about this on one of his streams, and I love this about this game is it paints almost every like person or organization or group of people or whatever, like how do I put it, it's like they're not one dimensional. It's like
yeah,
Shinra's not just the evil company. It's
yeah,
like, sure, the people at the top are evil, but you feel for the lower middle management
middle
people who are
manager,
just
yeah,
trying to feed their families or whatever, right?
yeah,
And like Cosmo Canyon, it's like, sure, they like a lot of their beliefs and stuff, I would probably lean more towards than like what Shinra's doing, but
yeah,
also, yeah, they're a little culty
yeah,
at
yeah.
the same time. And like I feel there's like, and the
People are
only,
flawed. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
and nothing
yeah,
is black and white. The only thing that is like one dimensional is
yeah,
Sephiroth, and he's just
yeah.
fucking evil, and there's no
Mhm,
redeeming qualities about him.
mhm.
And anyway, yeah, so I feel like it's part of them coloring both sides of
Yeah.
Cosmo Canyon.
Oh,
And
so well done.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was so good.
But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I didn't like it at first. I was kind of like, oh, this isn't as awesome of a place as I thought it was supposed to be. It's like, ah, no, people are flawed, and it's just yeah, a bunch of kooky old people high on peyote, and yeah, of course this is what it is.
Yeah,
And it,
it makes so much sense.
yeah,
Um, okay. Uh, oh yeah, Palmer and the tiny Bronco. So he did not get run over by a truck because we didn't even go to Rocket Town yet.
no, exactly.
So we didn't get
Yeah.
that point. I do believe now after playing this, because I said no because I didn't know if they would be able to like do it the right way. But after playing this game and seeing like the wild shit they like silly stuff, it's like I would change my answer. They are when we do go to Rocket Town in Part 3, he will get hit by a truck. Like,
Yeah.
guaranteed. Based off what we saw. So
Yeah,
so yeah,
agreed.
that one was kind of a non no points awarded because we didn't even go to Rocket Town.
And like,
Which I'm sorry. You go first.
I was gonna say, like in the OG game, you do go to Rocket Town before you
Yeah,
get the tiny Bronco, right?
that's when you get it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So okay. So anyway, like I like that they're not sticking as like I'm fine with the fact that we didn't go to Rocket Town. We will at some
yes.
point. And I hope that they throw that part in there, even though it's a little out of sequence. But anyway, yeah, I was fine with that not happening, but
Like
I hope it does.
by that point in the game that we would have gone, I was like,
Mm.
I was fine because of how big the game already was. That I was
Mhm.
like, I feel like we'd be rushing through it if
Yeah.
we went to it now, and because it's not part of like the Nebel region, so they couldn't just
Mm.
make it a town in that region or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, let that one sit, and it'll be like a giant fucking city,
Yeah.
or like a big, like calm sized environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
With this giant rocket, we'll do that in part 3 for sure. When
Yeah.
that's when we'll have like Sid's mission where we play as him for a while or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Yeah,
uh,
that's a good point. It's like save Rocket Town for when you have a playable character in which you can base some
mhm,
quests on and stuff like that. So yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
because
good call. Yeah.
he'll do some side quest there or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, we had a question about Yuffie stealing people's materia, so
Yeah.
she didn't. I said no. You said yes. Um, she they definitely like made a wink to it when she like finally joins you in Costa del Sol, and she just like
Mm.
there's like a shot like from her point of view, like looking at Tifa's glove and like clouds are so it's like yeah,
Yeah.
she's planning it. Like she's
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about it. Although I don't, man, now that I think about it, because like she becomes such like part of the family by the end of the game. Like she's not just
yeah.
this outsider character by the end.
Yeah.
I feel like I just thought of this now. It's like it's gonna be heartbreaking when she does it because she's gonna do it like she doesn't
For the with
want
the
to,
giant
but like,
materia, whatever.
well,
Yeah.
no, it's like when we go to Wutai in part 3, it's
Yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah.
gonna be like, you know, she's gonna have like her fucking daddy issues, and like
Yeah.
he's gonna tell her to do it, and she can't
Yeah.
say no to him or whatever, and she's
Yeah.
gonna do it even though she loves all of us now. Like
Yeah.
it might be like really upsetting and like heartbreaking when she does it, because then there'll be this
Yeah.
conflict between them, because she's already so like, she's a main character of the game instead of an optional one, so she's like way more integrated into parts of the story.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna suck when she does it. It's gonna be like really sad because she's definitely gonna do it. She's not gonna be. I don't think she'll be a shit about it and be like, "Ha, I fooled you guys this whole time." It's gonna be like someone's like forcing her to do it, or like
Yeah.
holding her family hostage or some shit.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree, and I think like the crew will learn why she did it and kind of understand and forgive her
yeah,
because it's like daddy issues kind of thing, whatever.
yeah,
But it's going to be a tough ride,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
And so I think uh I was not vindicated, but like I like the nod to her like obsession with materia and like look at all the materia this effing crew has.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
was definitely a wink that like,
yeah,
hey, remember when she steals all your shit?
yeah.
So yeah, that was fully intentional. And I genuinely thought there's a point when you're in Costa del Sol and you have to go do all those like mini games to get vouchers or whatever, and
Mhm.
like Cloud leaves his sword in the room at Johnny's like seaside inn or whatever,
Yeah,
and he
yeah, yeah,
literally
yeah.
says like, hold the fort down for me. He like talks to his sword, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
shit, like this might be where she steals the materia from all their weapons if they're just leaving them here.
I didn't even
um
think of that.
yeah, it was
Oh,
just the, yeah, I thought that was gonna happen, and then that's how we get her in our party. We like chase her down and get our materia back or something.
right, right, right.
But yeah, no, it didn't happen, and I'm glad it didn't, because if we get like a way more emotionally driven reason why she does it, like I said, I honestly think like the Wu Tai, some of the higher ups are gonna like threaten to kill her family, like her
Yeah,
parents or something, or her friends,
yeah.
if
Oh
she
yeah,
doesn't bring them the materia or something like that. Anyway,
um, and like in honesty, I all I wanted, or all I really was trying to manifest there was like a little like, huh, where'd my materia go?
sure,
Ha, like ha ha ha, like I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm a great thief and don't you forget it kind of thing. Like almost just playfully stealing at some point.
yeah,
But
and that easily could have happened for sure.
yeah.
But yeah,
Like
no.
even like you go into a battle and being like, where are all my commands? And then her being like, haha, like, and it's like, you little shit, like, come on, something like that. I would have liked. I was disappointed we didn't get something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Oh, when we learn about Seto, our question was
Mhm.
like, on like a scale 1 to 10, how sad is it going to be? I
Yeah.
don't remember what we said. I think we said like 7 or 8. It was a 10.
Yeah.
I cried.
Yeah.
That was
Oh yeah.
very upsetting.
Yeah.
Not upsetting,
No.
just very, touching. Just and I think we both said something to the effect that like it was sad in text form,
Yeah.
like hearing Red or reading Red, realizing what happened and whatever,
Yeah.
and then the teardrop, and then like, man, Max Middleman as a voice actor, because he does both Red's voices. He does his like old
I
voice
was
and his like younger voice or
I was
whatever.
wondering that, and that's impressive.
Yeah, so it's the same
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And man, he really nailed that, like that part. Like I I was crying for
Yeah.
sure.
So well done.
Oh, I'm getting choked up just talking about it. So yeah, we both guessed we would be sad, and that was correct.
Yeah.
That was the right answer.
That was gut punch in OG. Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
so yeah.
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 So it was only gonna get amplified. You said you had said like a nod to FF16. I don't. I was trying to pay attention to that because you had said like the when you like
Accept your past or
something
something.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There was something when Tifa's like reliving her memories, and I forget what it said. It's like relive your memory or relive your past, and I was like, nah, I don't think that counts.
No, no.
So
In
I don't
in
think there was.
in your defense, I didn't see a thing.
Sure.
I'd
Okay.
say the closest I can get is the medieval nature of the play, and I don't think any. I mean, that's a stretch.
Sure.
Phoenix was in the game,
Uh,
uh, you know, um,
Man, if Cloud didn't have a shield and he was just holding a sword in that, I would have
yeah,
given it to you because he would be like exactly like Clive
yeah,
when summoning a phoenix. But yeah, I think we can say no on that one. But
yeah,
got
and
close
like
a couple times.
I can't even like, oh, there are parts of like the Phoenix character model that are like, it's like, no, it is a different version of the Phoenix in every way.
Sure.
Yeah, like the Phoenix in 16 is so much grittier. It is completely different.
Sure.
So no, I didn't see anything. I thought I would get 10% points when I thought that him in Cosmo Canyon was from FF10.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But you're like, no, it's from Advent Children. It's like, yeah, that's right, it is Advent Children,
Yeah.
which makes more sense.
Yeah.
I guess with the music in the Moogle house, is that a general Moogle theme or is that an FF6 specific Moogle
Uh,
theme?
we know it from 6 the most because that's the first one we played.
Yeah.
But that theme exists in like I think 3 as well as maybe 4.
I think it's
But it's just like the Moogle
theme.
theme.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Gotcha.
not a specific one to a game.
Yeah. So yeah, no, nothing. I thought there'd be something. Do I get credit for like uh triggers for loading times? Like the like the R2 triggers.
No,
don't give it to me. No,
I don't think so. That's like, yeah, no, I'm not thinking
I'm
that.
grasping at straws here.
Sure.
But anyway, no, I don't get that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will Cloud learn about Zack? I said no because I assumed he would only learn about him during like the mental repair sequence. You said yes, and yeah, you were right. And it's like he definitely like remembered more than I would have expected him to. Like he remembers he was in Soldier and he was his friend.
Yeah.
But it's like then they just twist it and be like, yeah, but he doesn't. He thinks he was also there as a soldier while and like he thinks he died in the river or whatever. And so but like I'm still counting it. Like he definitely learned about Zack way more than I would have thought he would have.
I remember like, oh man, it was such an emotionally charged scene when like he kind of remembers like, wait, like, oh yeah, Zack, like he was like the most important guy in the world to me at one point. Like, how the hell have I completely forgotten him?
Yeah, he like feels bad that and then he's like, it's the degradation or whatever, and he starts worrying about,
Because I think at one point, I think I wrote down here somewhere, but like the first time he hears Aerith say Zack in Remake at the playground, it's kind of his brain.
But like, he like freaks out, and you don't hear it as the player.
You don't hear it, But I remember Brianna White saying like, I did say the actual name, But anyway, so then at one point they're like Tifa and Aerith are kind of having girl talking about Zack. I think it was in Gongaga when she goes to see his parents. And so he hears the name Zack. I can't remember if he has like a glitch when he hears the name or not. But then he's just like, hate to break it to you, but he's probably dead. He's probably dead. It's like, Jesus Christ, read the goddamn room. Fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's like, forget that loser.
Yeah, that was the line. And I was like, what?
And I think when he said that, because he says that before he says he's probably dead, because that's when he freaks out again.
Yeah.
But when he says forget that, I think like Tifa and Aerith are just like look at each other and we're like, what? It's like, you asshole.
Yeah. So
funny.
I think like I can't remember if anything kind of happens then, but then certainly later when he kind of remembers Zack in a real kind of way, and then he's like just this I don't know, that real it's like, oh shit, like yeah, Zack, that guy that like kept me alive and I looked up to and was my role model and everything. Like,
well,
this guy...
so I don't know. I think he just thinks of him as a peer right now.
Sorry,
but still his friend, like still like his best friend, and he even remembered that he was like in love with Aerith or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess even though he doesn't realize it yet, it's still like, yeah, man, you should remember this guy. He saved your life. But he just thinks of him as another cadet at the same time as him or whatever. So yeah.
So you called that one, and we got more than I would have thought we were gonna get for sure.
Yep.
But this one I gave up trying to keep track. Excuse me, over under on how many one-winged angel references there were, and it was over everywhere. Under 7.
Yeah,
it was probably more. I feel like it was, but I couldn't keep track. So
I mean, the music is so good in this, and like every track has 5 different versions of it in the same sequence, essentially.
I think we got more than 7 during the last boss gauntlet.
Yeah,
by
yeah,
itself. But yeah, I did not keep track of exactly how many, but I feel like it was over. So I said over, you said under, because you said they were gonna like save it for like
yeah,
just the end or whatever, which could have happened for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, so I think it was. I'm gonna say it was over. I'm pretty sure it was. Will the dying part make us cry? Yup.
Oh God. I knew it was gonna be, and like, and it was what I expected. I remember being like, this was so tragic. It was bad in OG and it was bad here. So I kind
And
of, yeah,
it was more simple in OG, which is not bad, like not a
yeah,
bad thing, because it's just like they have their little confrontation after the fight, and he just jumps off a cliff or whatever. This
yeah,
was a
yeah.
little more
True,
intense,
true.
and like he kind of really like shit on Barrett at the end. It was like, yeah, you got to live with this guilt now. Have fun.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I like both of those scenarios, and I'm fine that they changed it. I would have been fine if they didn't. But yeah, I absolutely cried at like, oh, I'm getting choked up just talking about it.
yeah,
Barrett's like, or John Eric Bentley, I think his name is, his
yeah.
performance.
When he cries at the end, yeah, yeah,
Oh, that was
yeah,
rough. And there's like a moment after he sort of like composes himself, where Cloud has a moment with him where he's like, um, what did he say? Is like, we got your back, man, or something, or we
yeah,
need you, man, or something. And
yeah,
he's like, yeah, I'm starting to think you like, or it's like, yeah, you need me to take the load off your shoulders or whatever. It's like the thing he always says. Um, and Cloud's just like, I mean it, man, like just very genuine. And
yeah,
it's like, I was watching, so someone I watch their streams, they just got to that part today, and like I almost cried just hearing
yeah,
that interaction, because like just the growth that Cloud and Barrett together have as companions or whatever.
yeah.
Um, oh, that was rough. That scene definitely broke me for sure.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, just, Barrett always puts up this tough exterior, because he needs to be, right? He's the leader of Avalanche. He's
Yep.
got all these people. He has to be the tough one. And he's a tough guy, but still also when everyone is struggling, he needs to be the leader, and
Yeah.
he always kind of shoulders that weight, and Cloud kind of being like, look, like, we're here for you, like,
Yeah.
like, we need you, and your life, you have new meaning now. And anyway,
Yeah.
that was really cool. I
Oof.
thought Cloud did a good job there. The one like empathy moment of
Yeah.
his entire adventure. Um, I remember earlier he has like a little picture of Marlene, and I was like, if you use this as a device to trigger emotion with dying, fuck
Yep.
you.
I,
It's exactly what they
as
did.
soon as
Yeah,
he pulled that out at whatever earlier point, I was like, this is coming back in the dying part. Like
yeah.
that's why they're showing us he has this, so
I
he doesn't
know.
just randomly pull it out during that sequence. So like,
I was
I was like,
like,
yeah, you're gonna throw that in my face later.
I know, like I said, I know what you're doing, and fuck you already, because I know
Yeah.
what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Because Marlene kills me. She can say
So
two words, and I'm crippled
that's our
every time.
that's our
Yeah,
next prediction. So first of all, we both said yes to the dying part, making
yeah,
us cry, and we both were right. The next one was, will scenes with Marlene make us sad? And we
yeah,
both said yes. And to your point, yeah, like, man, even just her like she only really interacts with Zach in this one, in the
yeah,
whole like messed
yeah,
up timeline. And like, not only was I like, it was kind of just like one of those cool moments where like, oh man, like worlds colliding sort of thing,
mm,
like Zach talking to Marlene, and like you kind of like understand why like the younger people from the Gungaga love Zach,
yeah,
because like he's good with children, like he's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah,
a sort of like happy-go-lucky like silly guy, and
yeah,
like he's like he interacts very comfortably with like children or whatever.
yeah,
um but so like those were cute, but man, when like, I'm gonna try not to cry just saying it, when Marlene is like, are we gonna see Tifa and Barrett again? And
yeah,
like the Elmira knows, I think she has a sense that like, no, our world is about to die.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
whatever weird purgatory world they're in is
yeah,
like ending. And
yeah,
she's like, soon. Like, yeah, you'll see
yeah,
them soon. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck you, game.
yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
that fucking broke me. Um, just
there's a real cute moment where it was something like, I'm gonna get this completely wrong, but it was like, um, Zach and her having a conversation, and he says something like, "Oh, like." She says like, "Oh, you wouldn't know this." It was like, "Oh, but you probably don't know." It's like, "Why not?" It's like, and she's like, "Cause you weren't there," or something like that. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I guess so." Okay, like you got me there, kid. But anyway, she's adorable.
and I guess now that I'm thinking about it too, like one reason why that's even sadder is because in that timeline they're already dead.
Yeah, yeah,
Tifa
yeah,
and Barrett
exactly.
are dead. You
Yeah,
in those, that wreckage or whatever.
yeah,
Oh God. Whew. Yeah, that one was
yeah,
brutal. So we both said yes to that, and we were
yeah.
right.
That's low hanging fruit for sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um. Oh, we said what was going to be the final like story point of this game. Like, where does this
Mm,
game end? Uh, you said after Meteor was summoned,
yeah,
and I said either after Aerith dies or
yeah,
when Cloud gets sucked into the life stream.
yeah,
So I'll give like half a point to me for that because like I kind of thought those two things would happen really quick together,
yeah.
and it didn't. But yeah, we didn't get Meteor summoned yet, so I
No,
was like half right on that one, which
yeah.
I'm fine with after seeing how fucking big it is. Like
Oh
the game
God.
is enormous, so yeah, don't go. You don't need to go further than where you did. Where you did, and
Yeah,
talking about ending at a low point. We'll talk about the ending later, but yeah, it's pretty fucking depressing.
yeah.
Where
Well, we
this game
talked about
ends.
this like the part two, like Empire Strikes
Yeah,
Back or things like that. It's the bad
the
guys win, and you need to pick yourself
bad
up for
guys
part three.
win, and the
Yeah,
heroes are at their like lowest point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Um. Okay. Next one. What was gonna? I think it was yours. Like, what will the final boss be? And the easy answer was Genova and Sephiroth. Like, I think we
yeah,
both said that.
yeah,
You actually called out something about Zack and Cloud fighting together, like just randomly, and I was like, Jesus Christ, he knew.
yeah. Exactly. I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty fucking epic.
yeah,
We'll talk about that a little more later, but yeah, you just threw that out, and I was like, whatever, man, you're crazy.
yeah.
Because I thought that would be a part three thing, and I think a lot of
Yeah,
people thought that would be a part three build up. But yeah,
yeah,
no, we got that, and it wasn't just
yeah.
like a cutscene.
Yeah, no,
It
man,
was
it was
like
a
actual
playable
boss fight.
boss fight. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
Characters that will get more screen time or like capture you way more than they did from OG, a la Jesse
Yeah,
from Remake.
right.
I said Shira. We didn't get to Rocket Town, so that didn't
All right.
happen.
Yeah,
And you said Rufus, which we did get more background into Rufus because he didn't show up much in this part of the game in the original.
yeah.
But you get a lot more of his like him being haunted by like that like by Glenn or
Glenn.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like being manipulated into starting a war with Wutai again,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
So yeah, I think you deserve points for that because we definitely got more Rufus than I was expecting in terms of just not just screen time, but like character development and just character progression with him.
yeah.
Because it's like, and man, I wonder why it's not people that have like Mako in them that are able to see these robed figures turn into other beings, right? Like,
No.
because like yeah,
I,
no, because they turn when it turns into Genova, like everyone sees that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not. I don't think there's some secret backstory about how Rufus has Genova cells in him or something like that.
No,
Uh,
and I think like when it's Sephiroth and things like that, like it's I think just Sephiroth can
yeah,
show whoever he wants to show or whatever. But
And I think Sephiroth can like fuck with you if you're near
yeah,
one of those, but that is like just Cloud or people with Mako or whatever.
yeah,
And to that point, there's a point that I remembered when I was doing my like the hard mode second playthrough. When Tifa wants to talk to you in calm and she comes to your
yeah.
door and you go outside and you like
Oh, you look downstairs.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that the I forget his name, the guy who gives you like the Queen's Blood cards, or no, he doesn't give you those.
He's the innkeeper.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you find out later that he's like an ex-soldier at least, or
So that's why he saw Sephiroth
yeah,
there. Yeah, yeah.
exactly, yeah. And it's
That
like,
literally was like one of the last things before I shut the game off last night was
okay,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like
Uh,
you like the camera like shots and stuff are so deliberate, and it's like you don't think twice about that when you're doing it. You're just
no.
Cloud's fucked, Cloud's fucked again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it very clearly shows him in the foreground or whatever. It's like, oh well, that's why Sephiroth's there because this guy has fucking Genova cells, and you
Yeah.
even see him later. I feel like was it Nebel or something? You see that innkeeper in like robes later, like you saw.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Totally gone or
Like
whatever.
Mako poison
Yeah.
looking essentially. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was
not Mako, what everyone in the town assumes is just Mako poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those were all the numbered ones I had. I did have some random extra ones that we didn't talk about in that section, like as one of our actual predictions, but I know we've talked about it just during one of our many random FF7 tangents.
Yeah.
It was the way the snake was going to end up on the tree. One of us for sure said, no, we're going to fight it and struggle, and then Sephiroth was just going to come and fucking kill it with no effort. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You called Glenn being the hooded guy in that trailer.
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. That was one that I was not expecting. You also called Shinra covering up the fire at Nibelheim. Like literally, Tifa made like a point, but like everything's brand new. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And you said that was like probably what happened is they just rebuilt it and just pretended nothing happened. And I don't remember which of us said this, but one of us said Cloud will have zero patience for Yuffie's theatrics.
Yeah.
And there's like that moment in console she does, and it's like the same intro as like exactly the same as she does in Intergrade. And like, cool.
Yeah.
It just walks away.
That was one of my favorite parts. I loved it. Yeah.
It was unbelievably funny.
So hammy and then so on brand for Cloud. It was so on brand for the two of them.
It wasn't even like okay, like he was just like, I don't care.
Yeah. No, he had no time for it. He didn't think it was stupid or criticize her. It was just like, I don't
whatever.
Care.
Just come with us.
Yeah, whatever. You can follow us or not. I really have no time for this. Yeah. Oh man, so good.
Yeah,
like
that was
even
really funny.
Like, bro, if Barrett was there, he would have been like, or I mean, if like just Barrett is very volatile and is very often like, what the fuck, or like, you're an idiot, and Cloud's like, whatever, like move on. I laughed so hard. I thought that was so good.
Yeah, that was like an actual like laugh out loud for like a minute. Like I actually like had the giggles from that after.
No, me too.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all the prediction stuff we had that we did on that last episode. I think we did. I mean, I haven't been keeping track as we've been going through it, but I feel like we did pretty good. I think we got more right than not.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah,
and it's like not predictions of like will X happen, yes or no. Some of them were yes no's, but some of them were like, required some actual kind of putting some guesses out there kind of thing, which I'm happy with. So yeah,
same. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We'll definitely do the same thing when whatever the next one's called is going to be.
before we kind of take a break or whatever, but just quickly, I guess I did not expect it to be this effing long.
Same.
Like my wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Like
The because like in a developer interview or whatever, at one point they're like, "Oh yeah, like the game will take players, up to 100 hours to complete." And usually when they say that, it's like, okay, so it's 60 hours.
70, yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
then if I want to do all, it's like I feel like they always inflate that number, like just because it's marketing speak or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, yeah, fuck, it took me 113 hours to roll credits. Like, it is a
And
long game if you do
I
everything, obviously. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like I'm naturally slower at all this than you are, and you probably did this too, but like I did all of the side quests,
yep,
um, uh, world
yep.
intel. Like I pretty much did everything you can in the main. I didn't do like the nightmare Queen's Blood, at the Gold Saucer or whatever because
Oh
I
yeah,
couldn't.
I had to do it for trophies.
Yeah.
But I did that. That was like on the revisit. I would
Yeah.
go back and do that. But all of the
I
like any posted side quest, like on the notice boards or whatever,
yeah.
and every like map intel.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I did, and I even did like the hard modes of the because those
Oh
were on the
Jesus.
map or whatever too, right? So I did those
Oh,
too.
I did like one or two. I think I did one of I managed to with skin my teeth somehow the Gambit ones. I managed to beat one of the hard modes for that.
I
Just
had to look up like a
yeah.
strategy because like I could not. I just
Fort
couldn't figure it
Condor
out.
hard mode. I was just like, oh, I'll try one of these. Like I think I got a good grasp of this. Completely killed me.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any of the hard mode photo relic things or proto relic
Yeah.
things. Um, anyways, but I was 140 hours to credits. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus.
It's
I
insane how big this game is.
this is probably not true. I mean, I could look it up, but I feel like I played remake once and then hard mode and then like a third time and then like on my halfway through my fourth is when I kind of hung up the controller where I was like, I think I'm done playing this game.
Yeah.
And like, was that 140 hours? Yeah, it's just like I feel like I've
So
played this
so
so
I
much out
looked
of this
at
game.
my PS5 playthrough and I was at like 90 some hours for the platinum.
Okay. Yeah,
But I platinumed it on PS4 as well, and that was around 90 some hours. So
yeah. Okay.
altogether, it was like probably like 180 ish hours.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I also have like just replayed it before this too. So like,
True.
so I'm probably like 200 plus hours all told
On
with
remake.
remake.
Yeah.
But that's like platinuming it twice and doing a third playthrough just for the to get
Yeah.
ready for Rebirth.
Yeah.
And I finished the platinum for Rebirth at like 204 hours or something like that. So like
Yeah.
that's crazy. That is like that much content in that game.
Oh man. And so I did not expect it to be this, and I loved every minute. I savored it.
Yeah.
Um I think no one I don't think anyone understands this, you and probably some of our viewers here, but like there's something so magical to me about getting up early, getting a coffee, and sitting down to play a game when like it's 6 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Like on a Saturday, and it's just like, oh, there's something that I love. I work day, get me out of bed's the hardest part of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on a work day, it's just like, oh God damn, like I just want to stay in bed. But like I will voluntarily get out of bed on a
Yep.
Saturday or Sunday, and it's just like, you know what I'm gonna do all day? I'm gonna play fucking Rebirth all
Yeah.
day. I'm gonna go downstairs. It's still dark outside. I'm gonna make a coffee and just like sit in my gaming chair
Yep.
and put my headphones on and be
Every
happy. Yeah.
every day of my vacation, like I didn't set an alarm, but I'd play till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I was like, when
Yeah.
I'm starting to nod off, I'm like, okay, I can go to bed. And I was just like, whenever I woke up, some days that was like 6 o'clock, sometimes it was 7 o'clock. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I like grab something for just like a quick, easy breakfast or whatever. I was like,
Yeah.
let's go. It's
Yeah.
like, let's man, especially that first day I did the thing that I do where I buy like the like
Veggie
meat and
tray.
veggie
Yeah.
tray, like meat, and I just that's all I vegged on like all day. Just munching on that stuff all day. Yeah, that
Yeah.
I'm in heaven when
Oh
I get
man.
to do that.
Anyway, I just kind of want to mention that. And
Yeah,
the one, so my kind of like, well, let's call it a prediction with hindsight or whatever, is kind of like, uh I didn't expect the game to be this long, and then I have an asterisk on my next comment here, is like, I didn't expect it to be perfect. And
yeah.
like,
It
I we
it
talked
had
about this.
you go.
We talked about how I was worried because like I was so into FF16, and it was like, have I forgotten my FF7 love, whatever? And
Sure.
you were like, don't worry,
Yeah,
it'll come back.
yeah,
And
you're
then
fine.
after we played the demo, it was just like, oh yeah, when I like broke down crying at the intro credits, I was like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I think it's still in there.
yeah,
And but like I was just like, God damn, this game is so perfect in gameplay, in story, in fan service, in everything.
yeah.
So like, oh, it was just so perfect in every single way. I
And
just
like,
couldn't believe it.
full transparency, like we are obviously super biased. I'm sure
Yeah,
a critic can find things wrong with this game. I would
yeah,
not fault them if they did, but for just us being like such lifelong fans of this game specifically, but Final Fantasy in general, um, I was continuously blown away by how much stuff it kept coming up with, like new
yeah,
things, and how fun all of them were. And um, like there were some very like important and deep story things that were just in a side quest that you randomly do.
yeah,
There's that
yeah.
whole side quest with Aerith in Cosmo Canyon where you're taking pictures of the constellations,
Oh man.
and you're doing that, and it's like sneak a picture of Aerith while she's not looking, and I was like, you did not have to put that in this random fucking side quest, and it like made me almost cry.
Oh,
Like,
I completely was crying. I was just like, what? Oh my God, this is so precious.
yeah,
Um, oh God, there's so much of that
yep.
just buried in a side quest. As like and she's being super cute, and I was just like,
You,
God damn it, what are you doing?
you guys like take a
Like,
selfie at the end of it, like it's just
oh
yeah. It's like I know like this is what like Max says whenever he talks about the game. Is like they just get it. Like
yeah,
the people making this game fucking understand this game and why it's so special to people.
yeah,
And they're able to just like highlight the things that are like because it's like that side quest didn't exist in OG7, like, but it's
no,
like I fully believe that these characters would do that in this
yeah,
moment, and like Cloud would like want to take a picture of her but not ask her, like he doesn't because he doesn't want to show his emotions or whatever, but he
yeah,
would kind of like to take a picture of her while she's doing her thing, and it's like and I feel like he said this too in one of his videos where he's like it's like the image or the sort of characterization we have of all these characters in our head
mm,
is like not even like fully complete because the game is old and
mm,
there's not voiced like there's a
yeah,
lot of the characterization that you just don't get when it's not an older game like that with just text boxes, and
yeah,
it's like they just found a way to like fill in
yeah,
the existing character with and it's like absolutely believable that like yeah this is what that character was, we just couldn't see it yet, you know what
yeah.
I mean.
It's
um
because there a lot is left to your own imagination. Look, it's polygons and it's
yeah,
text, whatever, and that's the way we gamed back then. And when it's done well, it sticks with you, kind of thing. But
yeah,
like, just to have someone say oh, the character is actually kind of like this, and so like fill in a couple of the holes that you had been using your imagination to fill in,
yeah,
and it's kind of like, oh yeah, of course, kid me didn't appreciate the complete depth and nuance associated with this character,
yeah,
and all this, and so it just kind of makes it more real, and that's kind of why this game's so these remakes are so special. So
Yeah.
um
Because they
but
just get it. The people,
yeah,
especially the localization team, like taking the Japanese translation and
yeah,
finding a way to still get the message across of what
oh
is
yeah,
being communicated, but in a way that fills out those characters to exactly how I would like. None of the characters in this game, the only one that's like, oh, I don't know if I thought of them that way was Sid, but it was like,
mm.
but this makes way more sense because
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
10, so I thought he was the old man and he's not. Like, so
yeah,
it's like that was the only one that was like off from like what I had in my head.
yeah,
But it's like that was a me thing, thinking 31 or however old he is was old, and it's not,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
yeah.
um
God damn, the characterization is so good.
oh, so anyways, I didn't expect it to be just so perfect. And even like that long of a game, how can it hold
I
that
know.
perfection for so long? Like it's gotta you know, peter off at some point here. And
Right.
nope, just kept I was like, I'm getting near the end, the Temple of the Ancients, and it's like, and it's still banging
Yeah.
every beat kind of thing.
Yep.
And so I remember kind of like thinking to myself, like, just on the 50th tier of coming from, I was just like, what's happening to me? Like, and it's like, yes, there are parts of this story that are sad, like, Aerith at the end, is sad, and when there's certain times where Cloud, it's just like, man, can you just like, I screamed at the TV once. I was like, about Cloud and Tifa, just like, just talk to her. Just like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? So like, there are parts that are sad, and there are parts that are kind of precious, whatever. But like, I'd say over 50% of my like tears were like, just I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, God damn it, this is a moment of this game that I'm seeing. It's like
Yeah.
having your dreams come to life, kind of thing.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly what it feels like.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I've loved this story. It's like, I love this book, for lack of a better analogy, but like, and now it's a movie, and it's done way better than my imagination could have ever tackled. And I think that was a big part of it for me, was like, um, I didn't expect to be so happy, like constantly like, oh,
Because
they're doing this part, and I
and
can't
because
believe
you
I'm seeing it. Yeah,
because you're going in it, it's like, okay, like I love this story and everything, but it's still a video game. It's gonna
yeah,
have weird video game things that are not as fun as other things. So like,
yeah,
you go in just a little bit cynical in that way. Like, I know how video games have to operate, so I know
yeah,
there's gonna be weird stuff. There's like one thing that I'll say, I could have dealt with this being a lot shorter, is like the Kate Sith section when you're throwing all the boxes.
yeah.
But
Agreed.
in a 110-hour game, that like 20-minute section is the only thing that I was like, I don't think I like this that much. That
Yeah,
was the only time I felt that in the whole time.
I know
Um,
it's an embarrassment of riches in a lot of ways.
yeah,
So
it's like
yeah,
so nitpicky, and it's like, so you just go in and be like, okay, it's still a video game, so there's gonna be some annoying shit that's just like,
hmm,
okay, whatever, I guess we have to do this. And it's like, where is that stuff? I haven't run
yeah.
into it yet. 100 hours in, and I haven't hit that point yet.
And so I think this game hits like the record for me of enjoyment per dollar,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even on a scale. But like, just the amount of sheer joy, 140 hours, whatever. It's like 40 hours of like, I love every minute of this. This
Yeah.
is everything I've ever wanted. Just like, so tears would be just the nostalgia, like,
Yep.
just like, oh, everything was just so well done. Even there'd be just music. You'd get
Oh, we're gonna talk about some of that because there's a
yeah,
few themes that happened that just made me burst into tears.
yeah, and it's just like, why am I crying right now? And it's like, it's because I've heard this it's part of like, I mean, FF7 soundtrack is part of every studying mix or driving mix or sleeping mix, whatever I have.
Yeah.
And now it's a new version of it that, and I can't quite explain why, is better than any Distant Worlds or whatever, anything I've ever heard. And it's just because it's so contextually perfect for this moment. Like just the
Yeah,
music would trigger an emotion for me so many times.
for sure.
So yeah. So you caught my asterisk there a minute ago. I was like, so this game is perfect with an asterisk. What is the one thing you didn't like? And maybe the Kate Sith
Yeah.
segment, whatever.
It was like a little, if it was half as long, I didn't mind doing the first part of it, but then when you had to start like throwing boxes down and climb up and throw, I was like, throw it on the lift to bring the lift down. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't need to do this. Like we'll just get past this part. But it was, like I said, it was like a 20-minute section in a 100-hour game. So like I'm really
Can't really
nitpicking
complain.
at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it did not in any way, dampen the experience of my playthrough.
No, and this is a nitpicking question, so you got to. I'd say so for me, I was like, I hated Kid G or whatever the goblin was, or what. I was every time I was just like, fuck this guy. Like I was like, I hate this guy.
Like fighting him or just dealing with him?
Yeah, just dealing with them is like, oh hey man, and I was just like, this is so dumb. Anyway, I hated everything about him. But other than that, the grinding, the battle game, the what was it called? The like polygon fighter at the
Oh sure.
Gold Saucer. That there were certain points I was fighting like Shiva and if and Ifrit where I was just like, am I ever going to do this? I was like using my screenshot like 30 seconds ago to try and see like a tell.
Sure.
Like Shiva kind of had this certain face.
Yeah,
like,
you definitely had to like just learn their movements, and that was like a memory game more than anything.
And a memory game when you had to like memorize it, process the memory, and tell your hands what to do in the span of like 0.5 seconds. But then with the Ifrit one, I ultimately like, oh, I think I know this now. And then I did it like 5 times just to rack up a bunch of gold points. And I was like, I've been like struggling on this for an hour, and I just did it like 5 times in a row. But anyway, so there's a point there. The flying chocobo in Cosmo Canyon, some of those trials, those were trolling me so bad. I was like, I don't know what else to do. I did this perfect, and I just can't get high enough to go into the last 2. I was so angry. But that was,
it definitely was hard, but like it was like I always was like, okay, but like I'm close. Like I almost solved the puzzle. So like let me just do it again. And like so it's like it was fresh. The last one was really hard. And I watched Max's video because he got there recently, at least on the parts he's putting up. And he's like, I felt validated because like, okay, he's having a hard time too, because it is really hard to just understand the movement of that chocobo. But it didn't upset me. Because I was just on the cusp, and so it was like it doesn't feel hopeless. I just have to like be perfect.
My frustration was that I just need to be perfect, but I don't know what perfect is.
Sure.
But the like, that's just being frustrated at my own abilities. But like just being like the goblin, I was like, fuck this guy. I hate this guy.
It didn't bother me that much. It was weird, but I was just like, okay, sure.
I think he seemed too cartoony to me. Might have been part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, that's my nitpick.
Yeah, like we're talking like the nittiest of picks for both of us is like, because obviously we fucking love, like I was thinking, it was like, are we gonna even have to do a Game of the Year episode because it's this game?
Yeah, exactly. Just call it right now. This is our Game of the Year episode 2024.
Yeah, nothing will dethrone this for either of us. So yeah. Okay, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll go into like little more like just talking about like story beats and just moments throughout the game that we liked, and then we'll get into ending and spoiler talk and theory of crafting, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll take a super quick break, and then we'll get into that.
Cool. All right. See you in a minute.
Okay. Hey everyone, like we mentioned in the first part, this was going to be a long one, so we're going to end it here. And I'll probably cut this into about 3 parts. So if you missed any of them, we started with our predictions, game impressions, and then ending talk. So you can check those out on the channel, and just to give you guys some more digestible chunks. So we'll see you on the next one. And Matt and I still have a lot to talk about.
So yeah, kind of thanks for making it to the end of Remake. We'll start Rebirth just soon here. So
Sure,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Take care, everyone.